What's up, everyone? Welcome back to On the Floor with Liv and Cor. I'm Cor, that's Liv, and this is another episode of the Big Ten Gymnastics Championship Countdown. 12 gymnasts from the Big Ten are jumping on interviews on the Floor with us this week. And in this episode, as you can see, we are with Emily Innes from the University of Washington. Emily, thanks so much for being here today. We're so pumped to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, we are obsessed with you in a lot of ways that we will get to in just a moment. But we thought we would start. You are a near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania girl, made her way to Washington. Tell us about how this girl from the East Coast ended up on the West Coast.
Yeah. Well, my recruiting process is like a little bit different because of COVID. So that was really interesting. But UW actually like found me through Instagram DM.
Period.
And they called my gym as well. So then I got connected with them and just fell in love with like the school and the atmosphere from what I was hearing. It was a lot of FaceTime calls and like phone calls. And then my parents and I came out here and visited because it was coming to the point where they were like, we're gonna have to commit people without them ever seeing the school. And that was something was like, if I'm going so far away, like I want to see it and make sure I like it there. And I love to travel. And so just coming out here and being able to see like different parts of the West Coast was also just something that I was super excited about. So yeah, I
What
came
what
talk
month did you do that in? I'm trying to figure out weather.
November.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really rainy, but Pittsburgh gets literally every season. So I was used to it. And then when I committed here, we came up for like a little summer program. And like I fell so much more in love with it because it was so beautiful out. And I was like, okay, it is worth it. Like this is what everyone says. Like the rain does come, but the sun, when it's here, it's here. And I was like, yeah, love
It
it.
It, I just moved to Seattle in May, and it was such a tease to have the May to kind of like mid-October sunshine. It
Yes.
was the best thing ever, and I have been telling people because they're like, "Oh, is it so gray there?" I'm like, "Yes, but the summer is unbelievable." And so that's why I asked the when you visited question because it can be a little bit tricky of what your first experience is, but having all those seasons in Pittsburgh makes sense. It probably wasn't as much of a blow, like when
And
you got
yeah,
here.
no snow here. I'm like, okay, great. Love it.
Great. Don't need to own a
Can't
shovel.
relate.
Right, Olivia's over here in downtown Chicago and she like shuts the city down.
Yeah, can't relate. Okay, so first year we talked about you going from East Coast to West Coast. Now you're in the Big Ten and you're spending a lot of time going to the Midwest and the East Coast again. So I have a feeling that you're seeing your family more, maybe to come to meets if you're going more east. But talk a little bit about that transition to joining a new conference. And you said you like to travel, so you're traveling a lot. So tell us a little bit about what this year's been like with the added travel and new conference.
Yeah. I was so excited to go to Rutgers and Michigan because it's about 5 hours from my house. And I am so blessed to have the biggest support system. When I was committing, my dad ended up switching like companies at the same time with his work, and his is now based in Seattle. So him and my mom move up here every season for like
Oh.
3 months, and they have been to every single gymnastics meet ever, except like literally one because of COVID. And then I have a pretty big family, and my brother has like a really big friend group of like family friends, and then people he has just like gotten close with through college, and they are the biggest fans of Washington and just like watching gymnastics. So we went to Rutgers like the second I think meet we had, and I had about 30 people in the stands, my face cut out and everything. So that has made my transition like so easy because I have so many people back home just rooting for me, and then my parents being here. It has been so good, and I'm so lucky to have all of them. So.
Okay, so if we're only 5 hours from Pittsburgh to like Michigan, are you gonna have a big crew showing up to the Big Ten Championship this weekend?
Yeah, I'm not as many as in Rutgers, but because they all do have jobs, like places to
Correct.
be. But I do have some family that's from Ohio coming in, and then my boyfriend and his mom are coming, and then obviously my parents, and then one of my brothers and his girlfriend are coming too. So a
So
little bit, but yeah.
so amazing. So amazing. Okay, I do want to go backwards just for a second because as I was just learning more about you, I read that you missed your entire senior season due to a shoulder injury. So, like, walk us through like what that was like, basically like getting recruited and then not doing gymnastics and then coming to Washington and doing gymnastics. Like, what was that like mentally, physically, emotionally? And
Yeah.
now maybe like looking back where you're at now, like can you even believe like what you're doing based on having to sit out a whole entire year in that way?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because right before like I flew out here with my parents to come look at the school, that is when the head coach at the time dropped out. And that's when the new coaches kind of stepped into their new role. And then I shortly committed after that. And then as soon as I committed, they also left. And that's what brought in a new coaching staff. And
Mm.
I was like, okay, like, a new start. And then I got the offer again from the new coaches. I was so excited. And then I'm like, a few weeks later, I'm like, now I have to tell them that I need surgery on my shoulder. And not only that, this was like the biggest injury I've ever had, luckily. I broke my thumb, a few sprained ankles, but then senior year, it's like my first surgery ever. And I like was talking to my mom because I just had turned 18. So that's the first thing I signed like as an adult. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm like signing this before I sign my papers for college. But I honestly like wouldn't change it. I it sucked being out my senior year and like I wish I could have competed, but I got to spend time with family, friends, enjoy my senior year of high school before I was moving to a college. And luckily the coaches at the time were so nice. And like as soon as my surgery was like they got the heads up that it went well and everything, they were like, sign the papers, like we want you to come here. And I was like, oh.
Oh.
So it all ended up working out and I wouldn't change it, but it did suck at the time. But so many different emotions were like happening because so much changed. But yeah, it was fine. And I'm happy that it happened now. But it was definitely hard during it. But
No doubt. No
yeah.
doubt at all. Well, one thing has been consistent, even despite another coaching change happening this past off season. That's the assistant coach, Jeffrey Langenstein. So has that, I mean, in the midst of a lot of change and coaching change and leadership change, um, what has it been like to like find those glimmers of consistency? Like I'm sure you lean on your teammates. I know that probably Jeffrey has been a little bit of a light just knowing that you had some energy like going from one staff to another. But speak a little bit about the transitions that have happened more recently.
Yeah, they transitions was like really hard, especially because it was kind of sprung on us. Like we weren't really expecting it, but like we understand why it happened. But we were so grateful for the new coaching staff that has come here, and then also having Jeffrey here as well. He really helped with the transition through the summer because the coaching chain was quite late, and coaches really didn't get here until like August.
Mhm.
So I know he was under a lot of stress and pressure and feeling overwhelmed, but at the same time, like he stuck it out for us and really pushed and was like obviously asked to be assistant coach. And we are more than grateful for that. It was like so nice just having that consistency and comfortability with him being here. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually remember, and Olivia, sorry not to take the mic away from you, keep taking the mic away from you, but I remember that coaching transition was kind of happening right around graduation, and it was kind of this like are you my coach anymore? What's going on kind of moment. And I I don't know, like I Olivia and I have been away out of the sport as student athletes or part of the team for a good number of years now. But like those moments are not easy at all. And it affects everyone so differently. So like I'm sure now, like looking back, as much as that moment was really hard for you and your teammates, like there's a little piece that I'm sure can look at it and be like, everyone was just trying to figure out where they're gonna live, who like was gonna be their staff, like all of these things. And at the time, the timing for the real life things that were happening was tricky, but um, I don't know. Here's what I see is I see your team having a great time on the competition floor and dancing and like enjoying each other week in and week out throughout the season. And it makes me happy to just see smiles on your faces and know that even despite transition, and there's other programs that have gone through the coaching transition recently as well. Like it's just good for us. I'm including Olivia in this. Like that we see joy on your hearts and joy on your faces, and that you're doing what you guys love and get to continue to do what you guys love. So that makes us really happy.
Yeah, we're definitely like not where we want to be at the season going into regionals, but we're fighting until the end. And we have gone through so much adversity this season with coaches changes, injuries. I think we have like 11 new routines in lineups. So that is something to look at and just be proud of, even though we aren't where we want to be, but like even to be where we are is something to be proud of. So
Absolutely. I mean, I think, that alone is so much that you guys have been navigating. And to Corey's point, every time I watch your team, you look like you're having the time of your lives. It just looks natural and fun and energetic, and it's so fun to watch. So I guess my question for you is going into Big Tens, what energy, like, what do you guys want to bring into Big Tens? You're going to Michigan. You said you have some amazing people coming to watch you. Another East Coast travel trip for you guys. So definitely a long trip. But what is just your team's goal and mindset going into this weekend, knowing it's your first Big Ten championship? And I can tell you it is so much fun. So what is just your mindset going into it?
yeah, I think going into this meet, I think the last few weeks we've been going in with the mindset of treat it like it's your last and just have fun. Like that's what we're here to do. We can control our gymnastics, but we need to compete freely and with no fear.
Mhm.
But go for it and push each other, push ourselves because we are more than capable of having our best meet of the season. But no matter what happens, let's just go have fun and end with a bang. So,
Love that.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. I was, as we were talking about this just now, I was like, add to the mix of other things changing, jumping into a new conference, right? Like so much change and transition has happened for your team. So as I'm like sitting here and putting it all together, it's just gnarly. But okay, can we geek out over your floor routine for a second? Olivia,
Today.
I don't think I can put the words together, so I'm gonna need you to.
I mean, I know it's my job to like put words together for this, but like that first pass has me in a chokehold.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
It's so good. The whole thing is so good. I mean, you are just so crisp in your gymnastics, but your presentation is beautiful. You can tell you love competing floor. You can
yeah,
just tell. And it's just like seeing it in person. I haven't seen it in person yet. So seeing it in person this weekend is going to truly be impossible to not gush on the broadcast. So I'm going to have to accept and share with my producer that there will be gushing. But it's just, oh, it's so good.
It's
thank
so
you.
good. And
Thank
also, it looks like you just have a blast. Like your music, like is so fun, and in an
Yeah.
arena, it feels really amazing. And you can tell that you're into it.
you.
Um, but yeah, I think that ever since week one, because week one was when we started the On the Floor with Liv and Cor podcast. I think like your name has been in our floor notes like every single week.
Yeah.
Emily Ennis's first pass on the floor. Emily Ennis's first pass on the floor. Like every single time. So, and we don't make this stuff up. We tell the truth here on the pod. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to like be glued to your touch warm up, your routine,
Yeah.
because
It's to die.
it's
Yeah.
to
It
die.
was like one of my biggest goals is to like put that pass in and like upgrade my passes this season, which I the past few weeks have just been doing the double just to
But
be more consistent and like confident in my routine.
yeah.
And I think I made that decision for like it's better for the team because I know I can put up a great score with that. But yeah, I just wanted to upgrade from last year and putting that pass in, adding a little jump out of my Rudy. Just fun. I love tumbling and I love floor, so
I
I
love
love
it.
that.
mm,
Oh, hear us out. We won't be upset if you don't do
No,
what we are obsessed
yeah,
with because we're still obsessed with your double. So
correct.
don't you worry. Don't you
maybe
worry.
next year we'll put it back in. But
I love it. I love it. Liv, take us home. Give her that final question that we've been asking
Yes.
all of
Okay,
our.
we've been asking everyone this question, and I know it's your first year in the Big Ten conference, but like I said, this conference is amazing. I had the pleasure of competing in it. The people are so awesome, and there's just something about the Big Ten that feels so camaraderie forward. Everyone just really loves each other, genuinely. And I can't speak for other conferences, but I truly think the Big Ten is the best. And the talent's incredible, and the people are amazing. So my question for you is, can you tell us a gymnast on another Big Ten team who you look up to, who inspires you, or someone you just want to shout out, just from, being in this conference with them?
that is such a hard question because I feel like there's so many people to choose from. But I would say Shay because her floor is just and her vault. I mean, come on, that's like the best vault I've ever seen. Um,
Her vault should start from a 10.
yeah,
Every other Yurchenko full can start from a 995.
I agree.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just perfect. Um, Maya Hooten, I know you guys just had her on, but she's just so good.
Yeah.
So good. There's so many, but they're just not coming to mind now. But those were the first two that popped in my head.
Those are amazing.
Yeah.
Really good ones.
Those are
And two of the best people ever. So, like,
truly.
so, so good.
Yeah. I mean, Olivia and I have had a lot of pinch me moments this season, and I'm not getting pinched because while we're recording this, it's actually St. Patrick's Day and I'm wearing green, but you guys aren't.
I
So
know.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Um, I'm just better than everyone, is what I'm saying. Anyways, but we've had a lot of pinchy moments because it's just super cool to get the opportunity to chat with you, with Maya, with Shay, with all these incredible people. Like we even got to chat with Orly Tran this week, and just listening to her share what it's like to transition from elite to college and from Canada to Iowa and then we hopped on with Emma Spence from Nebraska, and it was like her talking about how cool it is that she's actually the athlete rep for Team Canada and she's continuing to mentor people like Orly in all of these ways. And it's so cool because I think this culture that Olivia is speaking about in the Big Ten is that of like inspiring culture and motivating culture that's also this like family environment that everyone is just uplifted by one another with still that competition, right? There's still that competitive environment of like wanting to win. But college gymnastics, like you're a bunch of student athletes who are just that, students and athletes. And at the end of the day, there's going to come a time when you have your final routine. But the thing that will stick with you the rest of your life are the relationships that you've made along the way. And so I see that significantly at the Big Ten Championship is you guys all getting to rub shoulders with one another. And I see that in Olivia as a former, Big Ten athlete herself. She continues to rub shoulders and hang out and talk to past past Big Ten gymnasts in the conference as well. So that's our hope for you guys. Even in chatting with Shay earlier, like new to the conference, but it's going to be the biggest family reunion you've ever felt, despite having never met many of them. So we're excited for you guys to get to Ann Arbor this weekend.
Yeah, we're so excited. It seems like such a like cool atmosphere to be in. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to
Makes
be a
me so
blast.
happy.
And being from Seattle, I have to do a shout out because we haven't talked about it yet on an interview, but Olivia, this is Wednesday ahead of the championship. I think we need to tell our Seattleite friend on this episode about the coffee situation that's going down in Ann Arbor this weekend.
Yes. So, are you a coffee drinker?
I'm more of like a tea drinker.
Okay, that's good though. That's
That's
good.
fine. That's fine.
There is a coffee shop in Ann Arbor called Brews Roast, and we worked with them to give all student athletes competing in the meet and coaches $1 off their coffee or tea or whatever they want. And it's a small business. It's like super funky. It's Ann Arbor's very hippie, so it's very hippie and it's super cute. And so I'm hoping that all the athletes get to go and try it. Their food is good. It's like there's a lot of trinkets in there. It's very cute. So I hope you get to enjoy a nice tea from Rue's Roast while you're in Ann Arbor.
I'm gonna tell our coaches we're going.
And
Yeah,
We
you
all
have to. You have to.
all you have to do is flash your credential and it's like dollar off.
yeah, we always do like a walk to get coffee if you want. Like a bunch of us will go. So definitely add that to the itinerary this weekend.
Clutch.
I love it. I love it.
You'll love it. It's so cute.
Well, with that, Emily, thank you so much for hopping on today. It was so fun getting to chat with you. We cannot wait to see you in Ann Arbor this weekend, and good luck with the competition. And fun fact, I'll be on your flight on Wednesday. So see you
Yay!
there.
I'm so excited. Thanks for having me on. This is like my biggest dream at the end of
Oh,
the season. I watch all your podcasts
oh.
and I feel like I'm famous now. So thank you.
Well,
You are.
you are famous. Don't need to question it. Okay, well, thanks, Emily. That's amazing. We love you. With that, that's the end of this episode, this special episode in the Big Ten Gymnastics Championship Countdown with special guest Emily Innes from the University of Washington. We hope you guys are all enjoying these episodes that we're throwing down this week. It's been a blast for us to connect with so many incredible athletes in the Big Ten. And as we get and build the excitement towards this weekend in Ann Arbor, we just hope that you're learning more about their stories and having a blast doing so. So, with that, we're going to say goodbye, and there's more episodes to come. But on that note, we're out. See you guys later.